Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's meditation practice. Anybody here for the first time? All right. We have a few announcements before we get started. If you haven't already, please remember to silence your cell phones and put them away so you can be fully present for the talk and the meditation. If you must use your phone, please do so outside the meditation hall. We invite you to join us for our weekly Tuesday events with Medicine Buddha practice at 6 p.m. and our public talk at 7 p.m. Next week, for our Tuesday evening talk, Geshe Phende will continue speaking on the 37 practices of a bodhisattva. Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m., the Drepung Loseling monks conduct evening prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama's long life and other teachers. On Thursdays at 4:30 p.m., the Loseling monks conduct the Protector Puja for smooth journeys, successive interviews, new medical treatments, new business, etc. We're very excited to announce that Simon & Schuster has released Engaged Compassion, 7 Practices to Cultivate Resilience, Connection, and a Joyous Life by our founder and spiritual director, Geshe Lobsang Tenzin Negi. Books are available in our gift shop and from your favorite bookseller. Join Geshe Lobsang for his archived webinar discussion, Global Read with Charter for Compassion on their YouTube channel, where he shows us how genuine compassion, practiced with intention, becomes a source of resilience rather than exhaustion and a powerful force for meaningful change at both individual and societal levels. Geshe Phende will lead the Drepung Loseling Monastery's annual Yongye retreat from May 29th through June 1st. That's this weekend. Yongye is a powerful practice for purification and the accumulation of positive energy based on Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion. Open only to those who have received the 1,000-arm Avalokiteshvara empowerment or any highest yoga tantra empowerment. And I believe that today is the closing day for being able to sign up. As a part of Sakadawa, Geshe Phende will also give one-day Mahayana precepts on Sunday, May 31st that entails maintaining 8 vows beginning from 5 a.m. until sunrise the next morning. This event is open to any who have taken refuge and will last approximately 1 hour. You do not need to attend the Yongye retreat to participate. As a reminder, particularly on the weekends, please do not park in the grass. There's additional parking, overflow parking at the school up around the corner. Information on all events can be found in the lobby and on our website at drepung.org. If you're interested in becoming a member to support our ongoing programs and to take advantage of benefits like discounts on courses and retreats, applications are available in the library, and you can also register online. There's a donation box at the entrance to this room. Your generous support helps us to continue to offer programs and services like this to our Atlanta community and to those around the world through our online programs. Now, if you would please stand as we invite our resident teacher, Geshe Phende, to come in for this evening's practice.
Okay, now first, going to recite the mantra of Heart Sutra. Tayata Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisoha 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 Tayata Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisoha. Next is the four immeasurables. So when we recite this prayer, it's very, very important is you need to meditate on each of these four immeasurables. Meditate means you have to feel from your heart. You really wish every being have happiness, every being be free from suffering. So it's kind of including the people you don't like them or people you hate them. So make sure you feel compassion, love, joyfulness, and equanimity to all beings. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachments and hatred. Next is the mandala offering. Oi sai shi pi ji choi shi ye me ye to ta na ri ra shi nye de ge pa di sa ge shi to mi de pe wa ye do ge nama da shi la che pa sho idam guru ratna mendala kamni ataya me. So now today we are still continues the textbook called The 37 Practices of Bodhisattvas by Geshe Togme Zangpo. So today we are in 16 practiced, the stanza, which is here. First I'm reciting Tibetan, then after in English. Dagi pushin chebar jangbe mi, dala dashin tawar chenang, neki tabe pula mashindu, lakbar sewa Geshe la leyins. Even if a person for whom you have cared, like your own child, regards you as an enemy, cherish him specially like a mother does her child who is stricken by sickness. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So this stanza, actually each of these stanzas are very powerful practice. The ordinary people, I think it is impossible, right, to do this practice. But as the bodhisattvas, these are, they are day-to-day life. They always practice each of these mind trainings. It's very useful, it's very powerful. So the beginner, the ordinary people, even you cannot apply this practice, but you can, appreciate, or you can feel respect to the people who are able to, apply this practice. And also yourself, even you cannot do it at this moment, but you always encourage oneself to future. I will, try this practice and able to do this practice. You can dedicate your merits. You can always wish, like this is my dream, right, to do this kind of practice. Or then every moment you recite this stanza and encourage you. So finally, even you cannot able to do completely this, but you can apply similar these kind of practice. So this practice, it is saying, even if a person for whom you have cared, right, in our daily life, we have our friends, our families. I mean, you've been really very much care about these people. You've been helping them, many times in the past. And then after, these people, which you treat them like your own child, right? So much helps them, but they regard you as an enemy. So they treat you as an enemy, right? So in that moment, when you receive this kind of, treatment, usually people feel really angry, feel really upset, right? And then maybe general people use very harsh word to them. But here Bodhisattvas, what they do, they seeing them, cherishing them specially. So when the people, return you negative, hurts you or whatever they done, for the practitioner, you cherish them more cherish them like your own child, right? Like a mother does her child who is stricken by sickness. So the mother, when the child has certain type of disease, illness, right? So sometimes childs behave very negative way because of illness. It's not that bad person. Sometimes when they have some kind of pain, right? Too much pain, then they feel angry, they will shout it back to the mother like that. So even the child, return violent, but mother never feel angry. She feel more compassion, right? Because of she knows your child is suffer by illness, suffer by disease. So that's why they take care more. Similarly, like that, the people use so much care, right? In the past, you really helps them. Then return back like an enemy, hurts you, right? In this moment, what should you do? Instead of feel upset, feel angry, you should feel more compassion to this person. It's same like these people are here saying, stricken by sickness. So they are stricken, right? Stricken by sickness of anger, hatred. So either mental illness or physical illness. So when the person return back something really negative, that means that person is sick, right? Mentally. They have either too much anger, too much hatred, too much ego, too much arrogance. There's something wrong with their mind. Mental disease, right? Those mental disease lead that guy, that person, very negative. Even the person who really helps them, save them, right? But they return like that kind of bad behave. That means that person has something mental issue. There's something wrong with their mind. So it's called a mental disease, mental illness, which is anger, hatred, ignorance, right? So when the person see like that way, you always look them as a sick person, right? Mental illness. So when you see them as suffering by anger, negative emotions, then you feel more compassion. So now this guy is really suffer. So you special care like a mother, right? When their child is suffer by physical illness, she's care more to that child. Same like that, you should care more to these people who are suffer by mental illness. So if you look from that perspective, instead of feel angry, right, feel hatred, you feel more compassion. So that is why this practice, this stanza, it is called taking wrong repayment of kindness as a path. So taking wrong repayment, right? Negative repayment. You treat them very goodly, what you got it. He repay you very wrong, very negative. But for you, this is seeing them as a kindness, rather the path of the kindness, which means for you, the kindness of what you call cultivating patience, tolerance, right? Forgiveness, forbearance. So this is the people who gives you opportunities, right, to cultivate your patience and tolerance. So when you're able to apply your patience on this kind of situation, then other situation, much easier, right? Much easier. Like a stranger, you have no idea. Those strangers, when they, did something negative towards you, you can feel patient much easier. Because the people, you treat them very good. You've been supporting them. You've been helping. Even those people, repay you very negative, very wrong, behave. So in that situation, when you're able to apply your patience and tolerance, then the strangers and violent people's much easier to do this practice, right? So the people, who shows you this negative behavior, you've been very kind to them. So those people, as a practitioner, is the one of the best, opportunity to exercise your patience, tolerance. That's why you see them as a teacher of your patience, teacher of your, what you call, forgiveness, right? So that is why training, right, taking what you call revenge, right? Revenge. So taking revenge on kindness. So taking unfortunate situations are the path of enlightenment, right? It's unfortunate situation, but for the practitioner, it's convert as a part of enlightenment, because these situations helps you to cultivate your patience, your tolerance, right? Your forgiveness, your compassion. So these practices are actually the practice which leads you to the enlightenment Buddhahood. So that is why this unfortunate situation convert into the path of enlightenment, right? The path of compassion, the path of patience, tolerance, forgiveness. So that's how you need to convert this. It's called the mind training practice, Lojong. So situation is there. So which way you should take it? Take into the negative side, you can take into positive way. It's in your hand. If you take this situation as a negative way, you ended up with very sad, right? Very angry. You may remain with that emotion for long time. Sometime as a family, even sometime as a parents, right? They take care of their children for decades and decades, right? So much take care after children become adult. Then they return back. Sometimes, some unfortunately, they return back very negative, right? To hurt to their parents, harm them, right? What you call, they repay the wrong repayment, right? They're returning negative, very kind of the wrong action. So when the parent in that situation, When you see that way, they feel so upset, right? Some of the parents feel really angry, So, and that pain, it's a very, very deep pain. It's, that somebody, your neighbor or somebody, a very bad person, they hurts you, or the person who your own children's, when they hurt to their parents, your own children, the family, right, hurt, it's much worse, much deeper pain. So why they have more deeper pain they experience? Because of they have high expectation, right? As a parents, they always expect the children will appreciate, children will understand things, the parents, they will respect, they will listen, they will, are nice to take care back to their parents, right? That's supposed to be. But instead of taking care back, it hurts you more. So when they got like that kind of situation, the parents feel so much pain. So sometimes they remain with this kind of pain for very long, right? Long times. And some of them maybe hold that pain till death. They're keeping those pains, sufferings. So sometimes when we talk with those older people, sometimes when they talk, so the deep of their heart, the pain when they share about their family members, how much they treat them, how negative they treat, they're holding those pains, right? Some parents, usually they're not saying this. After when they're drunk, then they're saying all kind of their pain is showing they're holding those pain in deep of their heart. When they're drunk, then everything comes out. So why they have so much pain inside there? Because of their high expectation, right? That's why. So therefore, one, of course, their children's mistake, right? But one side is your side, your side keeping this high expectation is the one of the causes of your mental pain. So you have to get rid of your expectation. That's the first thing. Second thing is, don't hold those, painful memory, right? So rather you should convert it. Look from the different perspective. So when you take this situation into different perspective, it's really going to heal you. So specific here, Bodhisattva practitioner, as Buddhists call the Mahayana practitioners, right? Mahayana practitioner, one of our essence of the practice is called bodhicitta, right? Awakening mind. That's the one of the essence of the Mahayana practice. Bodhicitta, awakening mind, which means seeking oneself to become enlightened beings, right? Buddha, for sake of all beings. Why you want to become a Buddha is for benefit to all beings. That's kind of the mind called bodhicitta, right? So wish to achieve Buddhahood, wish to become a Buddha, it's not difficult. Everybody can have that. But you want to become a Buddha, it's not sake of your benefit. It's the mainly why you want it is because of to save others. Entire sentient beings are suffer, right? So you do not want them to be suffering. You do not want them. So you want to help them. You want to save them from their suffering. But being an ordinary person, you cannot able to save others, right? That's same. Like the parents who are very poor, who really wants their children, wants their children be very high educated. In future, they were going to get good job, right? They want to be happy, but parents themselves very poor. So how can they help? How can you help to your children? You spend the money to send them to the school, but you do not have money. You have intention, really wants to do that, but you do not have that, right? Because of that reason, what they do, the parents work very hard to make money, right? They put effort, work day or night, save the money. Save the money, the purpose of saving money is not by themselves become rich and enjoy it. The goal is they want to spend money for their children's education. Then future, those children will live happy life. So that is why they're working so hard, right? Similarly that, bodhicitta, which means you're seeing entire beings are suffer. So you really do not want them to be suffering. But this suffering come from where? Why they suffer? According to Buddhist philosophy, people suffer because of their ignorance, right? The fundamental causes of ignorance. Ignorance, there are many different layers of the ignorance. Ignorance means not knowing, not understanding, or ignorance, which means completely misunderstanding, wrong view. These are called ignorance. As a human beings, nobody wants suffering, right? They all want to live happy. And every human being in this planet, they're doing something, right? They're choosing different types of the lifestyle for sake of happiness. But do all of them really achieve happiness? Of course not. They all suffer. Why? First thing, do not understanding that what is real happiness. What are the suffering? Second thing is they don't understand it, the ignorance with it not knowing the causes of suffering. What are the causes of suffering? So, therefore, they do not know solution, how to overcome suffering. So even they're doing many things, but they never ever, right, achieved ultimate happiness. Never achieve ultimate happiness because of those ignorance are the one who obstruct them to achieve. So main thing is, in order to achieve ultimate happiness, they need to get rid of their ignorance, the main causes of suffering. In order to get rid of their ignorance, what they need to do? They need to cultivate knowledge, wisdom. Their wisdom, right? Their education, their knowledge, the wisdom is the only helps them to overcome their ignorance, nothing else, right? If you do not know how to make a coffee, right? You want to drink the delicious coffee, but you do not know how to make it. So you suffer. Suffering of not having this delicious coffee, right? That suffering comes from where? Main causes is ignorance, because you do not know how to make it. right? So to get rid of that ignorance, just pray to the Buddha or do prostration, whatever you do, you're not going to get that delicious coffee, right? You will not get that. What you need to do, you need to cultivate, right? You need to cultivate knowledge, how to make the coffee. You have to go there to learn how to do that, how to make it. So your wisdom, your intelligence, your knowledge will help you to overcome your ignorance, which do not know how to make coffee, right? So when you got the knowledge, then you make it in your home, right? Then you are free from that suffering of not having delicious coffee. It's gone, right? That knowledge is the most important. So knowledge, how should they get it, right? So as a person, you can help them to teach them, guide them. That's the only you can do it. You cannot transform your knowledge to them, right? Your wisdom, you cannot transfer to them. That's their responsibility. They need to learn. Even parents are very smart. If their children themselves not study, right, they will remain uneducated. Same. Doesn't matter my parents very educated, doesn't mean my children will become educated. They cannot transform their knowledge to them. What the parents do, they can teach them, they can guide them, right? They can facilitate them. That they can help. Similarly like that. So in order to help the entire beings to overcome their ignorance, you need to teach the Dharma. What is the truth? How to achieve happiness. Each of these information, right? In order to do that, first yourself need to fully understand. Yourself need to gain all this knowledge yourself. Then you can guide to others, right? That is why that full of knowledge, right, complete knowledge, it's called enlightened mind. So enlightened mind, enlightened being, which means the being who reached the full of knowledge, completed knowledge, who gained that, who reached that level, it is called enlightened beings. Buddha, that means. So therefore, in order to help entire beings, I need to first achieve full of knowledge. I need to complete success, my knowledge. That's why seeking oneself to achieve that level, that knowledge called Buddhahood, right? Omniscient. So seeking oneself to achieve that knowledge is not sake of yourself. Your main goal is you want to guide to them, teach them, help them. It's nothing to do with the selfish mind. It's 100% sake of others, right? So that kind of mind, it's called bodhicitta, awakening mind. Seeking oneself to achieve Buddhahood for sake of entire beings, right? That's called bodhicitta, which is the main essence of the Mahayana practice. So these texts, which I mentioned earlier, the 37 practices of Bodhisattvas, one of the main subject is this bodhicitta, right? So as a practitioner, bodhicitta practitioners, so when you encounter with this situation I mentioned earlier, right? Your friends or your people, you really tremendous help them, now return back. It's a very negative, very, what you call the negative return. So when you receive that, you may, you want to stay with angry, upset to them, or you go to the other side, patient. If you remain with anger, upset, what's going to do? That anger will destroy your compassion, right? Your love to them. So that means it obstructs you to achieve Buddhahood. It makes you more far, distant, before maybe a little bit closer. Now that anger, right, destroyer, your compassion, your bodhicitta is completely disturbed. It makes delay, right? So if you live with that anger, hold it, as long as there, it obstructs you to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. So you will going to lose your love, compassion, bodhicitta, everything's. So that's why choosing, looking for the different perspective, more compassion to these people. I'm not looking them, seeing them as a treat me very bad, they should be appreciate me, they should be nice to me. Instead of that angle, I will looking from different angle. I'm seeing them before they are suffered by physical material. I support them. Now today, they suffer by mental illness, right? Getting much worse now. These beings will suffer more now. When they have mental issue, mental suffering, it's much more danger than physical problems, right? So you're seeing these people really getting more suffering. They really need helps. They really need very important helps. Looking from that perspective, then you feel more cherished to them, more cherished. Now this guy was unfortunately much worse suffering they have, suffering of anger, suffering of hatred, right? Suffering of arrogance. So looking from that perspective, so I feel more compassion, and I feel more patience, more tolerance toward them. Because from the Buddhist perspective, when the people are so kind to you, when you return back negative, you accumulate very, very heavy negative karmas. Generally say you hurt to the general people, stranger, or you hurt to your own parents, right? Hurt to your parents, the karma is much more heavier than karma you hurt to strangers. Why? Because these parents been so kind to you. So therefore your karma become much worse, right? Then same, go to the spiritual teacher, also same. When you hurt them, when you do something, this karma is much worse, right? Much heavier, because they are more kinder to you. So therefore, because of you, this poor guy accumulated much worse, heavier negative karma, right? More suffering in the future. So you feel more compassion, right, towards them. In the Guide of Bodhisattva Way of Life, the Shantideva saying in the text I mentioned, the Guide of Bodhisattva Way of Life, the patient chapter, beautiful one things there, he used it. Now in exactly similar kind of this situation, that person, right, you've been very kind, return back very negative, then for the practitioner Bodhisattva, you feel more patient, tolerance, because of his suffering, right? But Shantideva says, when you look from different perspective, because of this guy, it gives you opportunity, right, to cultivate patience, tolerance, forgiveness, right? All of this opportunity, you get it. But because of you, what he got it, he got it very unfortunate. Because of you, he accumulated so bad karma, right? More heavier negative karma. So because of you, he suffer more in the future now, right? If you look into this perspective. Because of you, he accumulated so much negative karma. So that's why he will suffer more. Because of him, you get good opportunity to cultivate patience, tolerance, all the good qualities. You cultivate it, right? Through that reason, you appreciate to this guy. Through that, you can feel more compassion, more love to this guy, to these people. So you can look from a very variety different angle, perspective, to feel more positive way, right? To feel something, virtuous mind. So what kind of practice, how much you can able to apply, right? First, very simple. Then getting higher practitioner. One of the simplest thing is, as soon as when, living in samsara, we always have these issues. Everybody have those kind of similar story. I've been helping him or her, now they return back, this problem. These are quite popular. Not only you, it's every family members, have these issues. You've been something, because when you have some argument, when you have something problem, most of these problems is not from stranger. Most of those people, something you know before. You communicated, you grow up together, you have some relationship. First, always have some good relationship. Then slowly, it turn into the bad relationship. So these are common. So now, how much I can apply this practice? So first, very beginner, you're always thinking, I shouldn't keep high expectation to other people. That's always you should remember, right? If I look this guy, I smile, I never expect this guy will return back, smile to me. Never expect it, right? So you smile, the other guy didn't smile you. Then you feel upset. Sometimes you feel something negative, right? Oh, I smiled this guy, but he looks still very serious to me. He's not appreciating, right? You feel some upset. You always be thinking that upset coming from where? You smile to this one bird there, you smile to this bird will not going to smile back to you. But you have no problem, right? You smile to this guy, he didn't smile back. You have a problem. So this guy, you have a problem. This little bird, you don't have problem. You do the same things. You smile both of them. So bird didn't smile you back, you not feel any problems. Why? Because you do not have any expectation to this bird. It's nothing to do with the birds and this object side. It's your mind. Your expectation makes you upset. That's how you should first understand. Oh, my expectations are the one creating problem, not this person. Sometimes you do not know what's going on with this guy. Maybe their mind is completely, right, depression, completely angry, or somebody really take advantage. That's what they're going on. You do not know them. So, therefore, rather have no expectations. right? That's the one simplest way for the beginner practitioner. Oh, I feel something I feel pain because of not just only this guy, it's also my expectations. Understanding your high expectation is the one who creating you that pain, anger, upset, right? There's no reason to feel negative to that person because of the feeling come from my expectation. Through that reason, you just try to control your mind. That's the one way for the beginner practitioner, right? So when you see problem coming from your side, then it's easier to change that. When you're always seeing the problem is over there, always seeing problem coming from other side, then difficult to overcome that. So therefore, for the practitioner, always looking what I done something, where they're coming from, what kind of mindset I have to create me this upset, right? That's the first beginner practitioners. Then, through that, you can control your emotion. Even this situation, you don't need to do that. Then slowly, okay, I helped them so much before, now return back in this situation, same, right? So return back this problem. So I'm really upset now. I feel really pain. So where they're coming from, it's also my high expectation. So that's why I feel it. So slowly go into that way to try, when you know it's coming from my high expectation, when you sincerely believe that, then it really helps you to not need to feel angry to that guy. I don't need to feel upset to this guy. The pain I have is come from my high expectations, right? So that's the beginner practitioner. It helps that way. Then the little bit good practitioner, compassion and that familiar this practice, for them, I mentioned earlier, right? Because of the person who returned back to you like this way, you're always looking, oh, these people, right? Now, before I help them, it's materialistic. They suffer by material. I give them food, I give them shelter, I give them clothes, what they needed, right? Now today, the same person suffer by mental suffering, right? Mental problem now they have. Suffering of anger, suffering of arrogance, suffering of hatred. That's why their reaction's very negative, right? They reacted back to a very negative. That means inside there, something wrong, right? Reaction is the symptom. That symptom coming from inside, too much anger, too much hatred, too much arrogance. So these are mental disease. So these guys now suffer by these mental disease. Therefore, you feel more compassion, right? Special care. So that's why here saying, cherishing him specially now. Before just material, now specially cherishing, right? Which is mental issues they have. Mental pain and sufferings are much worse than physical problems. Mental sufferings are much, much painful than physical problems. That's why I feel more compassion to this person, right? Looking from that perspective, you can try to feel compassion instead of feel angry, right? Then, little bit better, higher level of practitioner, always, whatever they're doing this, you're always looking, oh, this is a very good lesson for me. Now he returned back the kindness. I've been very much kind to him. Now he repay the kindness. What kindness he give you? The kindness of give opportunity to cultivate my patience, tolerance, forgiveness. This is gift. When he was shouting back to you as a practitioner, this is the best gift. Now it gives me opportunity to cultivate patience, tolerance, forgiveness, right? Forbearance. So you feel more appreciate. You feel like what I done in the past, perfectly now. Now I return back, giving tremendous benefit to cultivate patience and tolerance. Return back, just give you some food, shelter, it's just little benefit, right? Having food and shelter. Return back to you, patience, tolerance, which is a very long-term benefit. Happiness of patience, cultivating patience, tolerance, compassion, compared with the happiness of money, right? Foods, or some nice word. Which one is more powerful? Right? Happiness of compassion, happiness of patience, tolerance are much, much higher happiness than happiness of just materialistic happiness. So therefore, this guy give me tremendous happiness, which is happiness of patience, tolerance, compassion. I feel more respect to them. I feel more care, more cherish to this person, right? From that perspective, when you apply it, your practice becoming so powerful, right? Instead of upset, you feel more joy, more pleasure, right? More inner kind of what you call pleasure, bliss. You can experience that. But this is not easy, but a higher practitioner, you can future able to apply these kind of practice. Now these are not just saying, these are possible. We can able to do that. That's why he is saying this is the practice of Bodhisattva, right? The Bodhisattvas are doing these kind of practice. So finally, you're able to apply your patience, means your patience become much, much, much stronger. Your compassion remain much stronger. Because of that, the joy, the pleasure, the happiness feeling is much deeper, much stronger. So after that person who repay you very negative behave, but for the practitioner, it's the best opportunity. You feel more happier, right? More pleasure. So that's how we need to look. So we need to learn first this, what that past, those practitioners done, what they're doing. We learn from them, right? Then, in the present moment, we're trying. So first, we meditate, thinking this, read, hearing again and again. We contemplate, thinking again and again. Then slowly, slowly meditating this. You're visualizing, you're applying, you go back to the morning work, the small things, your co-worker or somebody done something little negative behave, you come back, you feel a little bit upset, then you read this stanza, then you play, you exercise your mind, right? Apply this practice. First, my expectation is too high, So started from there, right? Then less, like higher level, or I feel more compassion to them. Then highest level, I feel more appreciate to them, to doing for me like this negative behave, repay. I feel them more appreciate, more respect. That's how we need to learn, and that what you call tame one's mind to thinking this. That's called the practice, right? So then for the very beginners who cannot able to handle these things, right? So as a parent, sometimes you even cannot do this. Then the first, at least it is saying, don't think about these situations. Don't think about. Means as soon as when these memories pops up, don't stay with this memory. Rather, you should just meditate on your breath. Breathing meditation means your focus, your mind should focus or remain on your breath, in and out, and just focus on there for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, like that. You do it that at the moment that you're feeling of really upset, like a pain, will release. Just forget that situation. Just remain on your breath, in and out, and just think about your breath, right? Keep your mind, it is saying, rest on one's own breath, right? Which means keep your mind in the present. When you inhale, just say, I'm inhaling now. When you exhale, say, I'm exhaling now. So you should be mindful, aware in the present moment of your breath, in, out, just on that for 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Like even just remain there, it gives you some kind of calm, more calmer, more what you call relax. Then still constantly, then after that, even still coming that pain, then it is saying, just again go this breathing meditation. When your mind is calmed down, just look to identify the pain you have right now. Recognize those pain, right? The holding the pain, the holding the bad memory. Somebody that hurts you, you're keeping that memory. So recognize those memory, recognize those pain. When you see this pain in your heart, right, then you visualize them or manifest as a form of smoke in your heart, right? Your pain or your bad memories form of smoke in your heart. Then when you exhale, just this smoke, right? When you're exhaling, you release the smoke with your breath. Take a deep breath. When you exhale, you release those smokes. Let them go. So don't hold it. So your pain, your bad memories, whatever you have which bothers you, visualize them as a form of smoke. Then when you exhale, take a deep breath. When you exhale, let them go. Release them. Go. Again, when this memory comes, visualize as a form of smoke. When you exhale, let them go. So that's the first very beginner practitioner, right? So beginner who cannot handle this situation, first started from there. So do a few minutes breathing meditation, keep your mind just on your breath. After the breathing meditation, if they're completely forgetting, it's gone, then you don't need to do these smoke things. Then whatever you do, eat whatever you do. But after finish the breathing meditation, then again this memory coming back, right? If they're constantly coming back, then what you do, when you do first breathing meditation, as soon as calm your mind, then you look to try to find that memory you're holding, the pain you have right now, right? Whatever past bad memory, recognize each of them, right? Then visualize or manifest those pain form of smoke in your heart. Then each time when you exhale, you release them, let them go. Do it again and again. So these are really, really helps you. Some of you may have very heavy pain, at least it helps to lighter pain. Pains remain lighter. Then again, do it this constantly again. Slowly, slowly those pains will completely change, reduce. Then apply the practice I mentioned earlier. Reduce your expectation, understanding your expectation is the one who causes those main pain. Not only pointing to the person there, also your high expectation is also, so I need to reduce my high expectation. Then next stage is the compassion to them, right? This is the guy, now he has another suffer, mental issue problems. The anger, the arrogance are the one create him like that kind of person. So what this kind of the person is not the person himself or herself want to do. It's becoming that kind of negative person is created by the anger, hatred, right? The ignorance, the arrogance, the negative emotion. So you feel this person as really suffer now by the negative emotion, right? Out of that, you cultivate compassion. Then higher level, right? So that for me, when you're seeing like these kind of situation, now it's a return back. I've been very kind to him, so now he repaying back to me. What he give you opportunity to cultivate your patience, tolerance, forgiveness, forbearance, compassion, all these opportunities is giving back to me now, right? So patient practitioner, you need the troublemakers. If you live with the very good people, your patience will never develop, never. So the patient really need those, bad people. And that really gives you opportunity. So that's why seeing this is the himself intentionally showing this behavior to give us opportunity to cultivate my patience, tolerance. So I feel more appreciate to them. So even just think about that. Tremendous give you some joy. Instead of upset, feel joy, right? Oh, they give me this opportunity. Either happiness of having patience, compassion, happiness of just few nice words, right? Which one is better? Happiness of patience. It's much better. It's take you to the Buddhahood, right? It's helping you to go to the higher realization. So you feel more appreciate. Through that, you cultivate your patience towards them. So that's the, kind of the much higher level of practice. So this stanza, the practice number 16, depend on the individual's label, how much you can able to do it, right? Beginner, then higher level. So you should understand that, and you should even mentally, you should meditate on this. Meditate means analytical. What I say, you think this again, and then your feeling comes, you hold it in that feeling, right? Even though not real situation there, right? You just visualizing. and you just visualize. And if you do not have that much like this situation, then you visualize somebody you really help them, you visualize them in a repay back very negative way. Then you try to exercise your mind with them. So that's how you, what you call, you train your mind, getting better, right? Finally, you can able to utilizing, feel compassion more and more. Worse situation for you, getting much better compassion. When the external thing worse, you feel it's more good opportunity. You can go that way, right? That kind of level, when you reach it, then there's no danger to decline your compassion, love, bodhicitta, always getting higher and higher level, right? So that's why this practice is really, really powerful, really effective, really useful in our day-to-day life. So there's this kind of practice. It's not just thinking, it's applied to our daily life. It's really useful. Okay, so we're going to stop here. Now the conclusion here is, first we're going to recite the compassion mantra, right? So when we're reciting these compassion mantra, you really meditate to entire beings suffering, and you wish them to be free from suffering, right? That's compassion. Then next, the prayer, when we recite it, is called the Tonglen meditation, meditation on giving and taking. So the first, you're taking. So you're taking what? Entire sentient beings, they're suffering, and their causes of suffering, which are their negative emotion. So out of compassion, you visualize them, all of their suffering, and the causes of sufferings are wrapping into me. I happily take all of them, right? Then all your happiness, your merit, your virtues, wish to give them, offer to others. So you wish to offer all your happiness to others, wish to take all other suffering wrapping into oneself, and you're requesting to the Buddha of compassion, please bless me, able to do that. Not just meditate, able to future, can able to do this practice of giving and practice of taking. Giving out of love, all your happiness, to offer, dedicate to others. Take out of compassion to them all other sufferings and the causes of suffering, right? So that's why when we're reciting these prayer, should meditate on Tonglen. Tonglen means giving and taking. O mani pe me hu, 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 o mani pe me hu. And thus, Honorable Compassionate Gurus, we seek your blessings that all karmic debts, obstacles, and sufferings of mother beings may without exception ripen upon us right now, and that we may give our happiness and virtues to others, and thereby invest all beings in bliss, And thus, honorable, compassionate gurus, we seek your blessings that all karmic debts, obstacles, and sufferings of mother beings may without exception wrapping upon us right now, and that we may give our happiness and virtues to others, and thereby invest all beings in bliss. Oi te na chi chu la ma tu chi che ma ju do ve ti do nge ma lu ta da lai mi pa ta da ji de ji shen la ta wa yi do yu yin de ta de yin ba ji ji lo yu do yu yin de ta de yin ba ji ji Chanjo simcho rinpoche ma che pa nam ki ju chi ke pa nyam pa me pa yang kong ne kong tu pe wa sho. May the precious and sublime Bodhicitta not yet born be born, and that which has been born not decline but increase forever. Okay, thank you, and good night.